Kelsey Mitchell just dropped a truth bomb that has the entire WNBA in complete chaos, and what she revealed about Caitlin Clark is sending shockwaves through every locker room in the league. This wasn't some rehearsed PR statement or carefully crafted team response. This was raw, unfiltered honesty from the one player who had every reason to stay silent, and her words are about to change everything you thought you knew about the Indiana Fever's dynamics. Mitchell didn't just speak, she exposed a reality that most veterans in the league have been desperately trying to hide. After years of watching other players throw shade at Clark, after enduring countless interviews where jealousy dripped from every word, Mitchell did something nobody saw coming. She validated what millions of fans already knew, but what the establishment refused to admit. And trust me, the way she said it is going to make some very powerful people in the WNBA extremely uncomfortable. Before we dive into the explosive details of what Mitchell revealed, I need to know, do you think veteran players have been deliberately trying to sabotage Caitlin Clark's impact on the league? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because what you're about to hear might completely change your perspective. Here's what makes Mitchell's revelation so devastating to the old guard. She's not some rookie trying to make headlines or a bench warmer looking for attention. This is the player who literally kept the Indiana Fever franchise alive when nobody else cared. We're talking about someone who endured 5 different coaches in 8 years, who played through seasons where the Fever won just 5 games total, who watched as opponents treated games against Indiana like practice sessions. Mitchell was there when the arena was empty, when the cameras were off, when being a Fever player meant being forgotten by the entire basketball world. So when she finally broke her silence about Clark, everyone knew this wasn't going to be another generic teammate compliment session. Mitchell looked directly into the camera and delivered words that are still echoing through every front office in the league. She said Clark didn't just change the Fever, she changed the world and transformed the entire dynamic of basketball itself. But that wasn't even the most shocking part. What came next exposed a truth that veteran players have been desperately trying to suppress. Mitchell revealed that certain doors have opened specifically because Clark came to the Fever, and that everyone needs to respect that reality whether they like it or not. Think about the weight of that admission. A 7-year veteran, someone who could easily feel overshadowed or replaced, basically confirmed that Clark's arrival created opportunities that never existed before, not just for the team, but for every single player wearing a Fever jersey. That's not speculation anymore, that's confirmation from the inside. But here's where things get really interesting, and this is the part that has other WNBA veterans absolutely fuming. Mitchell didn't stop at acknowledging Clark's impact. She went further and exposed how Clark has handled all this pressure with, in her exact words, so much grace while welcoming everyone with open arms to make this thing happen. That might sound like standard teammate praise, but you need to understand the context here. While players like Aja Wilson have been throwing subtle jabs and Cheryl Swoops has been undermining Clark at every opportunity, Mitchell just confirmed that behind closed doors, Clark has been nothing but supportive of her teammates. What happened next in Mitchell's revelation would shock even the most dedicated WNBA followers. She admitted something that no veteran player has been willing to say publicly until now. Mitchell confessed that as both a friend and a player, she's grown to appreciate Clark because of what she's brought to the franchise. Now pause and think about that for a second. This is coming from someone who averaged over 20 points per game before Clark arrived, who was the face of the franchise, who had every reason to feel threatened. Instead, she's publicly stating her appreciation. The timing of Mitchell's bombshell couldn't be more perfect or more calculated, depending on how you look at it. This comes right as the 2025 season approaches, with massive expectations for the Fever. Clark's been dealing with injury concerns that have kept her out of recent activities, and there's been endless speculation about potential friction in the locker room. Mitchell just shut all of that down with one powerful statement, but she also opened up a whole new conversation about what's really happening behind the scenes. Remember, Mitchell specifically mentioned that it took a lot of big pieces to make what the Fever have become. She name-dropped Lexi Hull, Aaliyah Boston, and others, but the way she positioned Clark in that conversation was deliberate. She didn't say Clark was just another piece. She said Clark changed the world and then integrated perfectly with the existing core. That's a massive distinction that speaks volumes about the team's actual chemistry versus what certain media personalities want you to believe. But wait, there's more to this story that Mitchell revealed, and this next part is what has league executives scrambling. She talked about how draft picks like Boston and Hull were already big additions, but then she added that bringing in Caitlin created what she called a match made in heaven. Think about the implications of that statement. Mitchell is essentially confirming that the Fever's roster construction wasn't just lucky, it was perfectly designed to maximize Clark's impact while maintaining the core that Mitchell helped build. The most revealing moment came when Mitchell discussed her own journey with brutal honesty. She acknowledged being at the right age to vibe and connect with these younger players, positioning herself as the bridge between the old Fever and the new dynasty they're building. This wasn't just humility, this was strategic leadership at its finest. Mitchell is telling the world that she's not threatened by Clark's stardom because she understands her own vital role in making it all work. What makes this even more explosive is what Mitchell didn't say. She never mentioned the attendance records, the merchandise sales, or the television ratings that have skyrocketed since Clark arrived. She didn't need to. By focusing on the basketball and the relationships, she delivered a masterclass in how to handle a generational talent joining your team. Compare that to how other franchises have dealt with similar situations, and you'll understand why Mitchell's approach is so revolutionary. If you're finding this information as shocking as I am, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more exclusive WNBA coverage, because what's coming next in this story is going to blow your mind. Here's the part that nobody's talking about yet, but it's crucial to understanding the full impact of Mitchell's revelation. She mentioned that Clark has accepted everything with grace and welcomed the team with open arms. That's a direct contradiction to the narrative being pushed by certain former players who claim Clark is difficult or doesn't respect the veterans. Mitchell just destroyed that storyline with first-hand testimony that can't be disputed. The reaction from around the league has been swift and telling. Several prominent players have suddenly gone quiet on social media, while others are scrambling to walk back previous comments about Clark and the Fever. Mitchell's words carry weight because she's earned respect through years of grinding when nobody was watching. She's not someone who can be dismissed as a Clark supporter or a rookie who doesn't understand the game. She's WNBA royalty who just validated everything Clark's fans have been saying. But here's the twist that changes everything. Mitchell's revelation comes at a time when there are serious questions about the Fever's championship potential in 2025. With Clark dealing with injury concerns and the Western Conference looking stronger than ever, some analysts were predicting a step back for Indiana. Mitchell just sent a message to every doubter that this team is more united than ever, and that Clark's impact goes way beyond just her on-court performance. The psychological warfare aspect of Mitchell's statement can't be ignored either. By publicly embracing Clark and confirming the positive locker room dynamics, she's essentially dared other teams to try and create division. It's a brilliant defensive move that protects the Fever from the kind of internal drama that has destroyed other promising teams. Mitchell knows exactly what she's doing, and it's genius-level team building. What's really fascinating is how Mitchell framed the entire conversation around growth and appreciation rather than competition or jealousy. She talked about growing to appreciate Clark as both a friend and a player, which suggests an evolution in their relationship that goes deeper than just basketball. This is the kind of authentic team chemistry that championships are built on, and Mitchell just confirmed it exists in Indiana. The broader implications for the WNBA are staggering. If the Fever's best players are publicly supporting each other like this, it sets a new standard for how teams should operate. No more petty feuds, no more anonymous sources leaking negative stories, no more veterans trying to put rookies in their place. Mitchell just showed the entire league what professional basketball should look like in 2025. But perhaps the most important aspect of Mitchell's revelation is what it means for young players coming into the league. She's demonstrating that you can be a star without tearing others down, that you can acknowledge greatness without diminishing yourself, and that real leadership means lifting everyone up. That's a message that transcends basketball and speaks to something much bigger. The timing also suggests this might be part of a larger strategy by the Fever organization. With the 2025 season approaching and massive expectations building, having Mitchell publicly endorse Clark and the team's direction sends a powerful message to potential free agents. Who wouldn't want to play in an environment where the stars support each other and success is shared rather than fought over? Mitchell's words also contained a subtle warning to Clark's critics. By saying that certain doors have opened because of Clark and that everyone needs to respect that, she's essentially telling the haters to back off. It's a protective move from a veteran who understands the pressure Clark faces and is willing to stand up for her teammate. That kind of loyalty is rare in professional sports and speaks volumes about the culture being built in Indiana. The fact that Mitchell chose this moment to speak up is significant too, with Clark's injury situation creating uncertainty and rival teams circling like vultures, hoping to exploit any weakness. Mitchell just shut down any narrative about internal problems. She's protecting the franchise's most valuable asset while simultaneously elevating her own leadership status. It's a masterful play that shows why Mitchell has survived and thrived in this league for so long. What we're witnessing is nothing less than a transformation in how WNBA players interact with generational talents. Instead of the jealousy and resentment we've seen in the past, Mitchell is modeling a new way forward based on mutual respect and shared success. This could be the beginning of a cultural shift that changes the entire league's dynamics. The response from Fever fans has been overwhelming. Social media is flooded with appreciation for Mitchell's honesty and leadership. Many are calling this the moment that solidified the Fever as true championship contenders, not just because of talent, but because of the unity Mitchell just revealed. When your veterans are this bought in and your stars are this aligned, special things happen. But here's what should really worry the rest of the league. Mitchell's revelation suggests that we haven't even seen the Fever's full potential yet. If this level of chemistry and mutual support exists now, imagine what happens when Clark returns fully healthy and the team has had more time to gel. Mitchell just confirmed that the foundation is rock solid, which means the ceiling is virtually limitless. The contrast with other teams couldn't be more stark. While franchises like Las Vegas deal with ego clashes and Seattle navigates personality conflicts, Indiana has their established star publicly championing their young phenom. That's not just good leadership, it's championship DNA. Mitchell understands that rising tides lift all boats, and she's making sure everyone knows the Fever are all rowing in the same direction. As we head into the crucial 2025 season, Mitchell's words will echo through every practice, every game, and every moment of adversity the Fever face. She's set a standard for leadership and authenticity that other players will be measured against. And most importantly, she's given Clark the ultimate gift, validation from someone who earned it the hard way. The message to the rest of the WNBA is crystal clear. The Indiana Fever aren't just talented, they're united. They aren't just young, they're hungry. And they aren't just building something special, they're doing it the right way with mutual respect and genuine appreciation for each other's contributions. Mitchell just revealed the secret sauce that makes this team different, and it has nothing to do with individual statistics or personal accolades. This revelation from Mitchell might be remembered as the moment everything changed for the Indiana Fever, not because of what was said, but because of who said it and how they said it. When a veteran of Mitchell's caliber publicly embraces change and champions the next generation, it creates a culture that breeds success. And based on what we just heard, the Fever have that culture in abundance. What do you think about Mitchell's explosive revelation? Is this the leadership the WNBA needs? Or is there more to this story than meets the eye? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more breaking WNBA coverage as this story continues to develop.